the way to hold the wheel, if you could hold the wheel, hold the lumps up there, does the steering wheel feel too high, or does it feel alright?
No.
Okay, perfect, because we can lower it if you need to, but that's quite nice. Right, so to put it into drive, there's a little trigger on the back here like on a gun. So the idea is to squeeze the trigger in, pull this thing back until it says D in that window there. D. So it's got P for park, we want the D. But the thing is, when it goes into D for drive, the car's going to move on its own. So it's up to you to stop it going anywhere. So personally what I've been trying to do is brake a bit harder. Brake a bit harder, that's it. Squeeze the trigger in, pull this thing back until it says D there. That's it, so that's in drive. So you can go that now. So that means we're going to go forwards. And then if ever we want to go backwards, if you keep the brake on, can you see you've got reverse here?
Yeah.
If you squeeze the trigger in and then push the whole thing forwards, that puts into reverse. Even puts the reversing camera on if it wasn't all covered in water and mud and stuff there. That's it. But I reckon we need to put it back into drive. Nice, good stuff. And it's worthwhile looking at that thing there like you were, because some people do that and it pops into neutral because they're looking down here, see? So it's in drive and that works very nicely. So looking at the top of the hill, see those two trees there?
Yeah.
We want to steer towards those trees. So when you feel ready, just take your foot off the brake and the car starts to move on its own. So if you look at the trees up there and now really gently push the accelerator, just think it is a powerful car and it does want to go at times there. And then just think to yourself, if ever you go too fast today, the first thing I'll say to you is, can you slow down?
Yeah.
If you don't slow down, I've got a brake on my side. Because I can brake down here, see, that's it. So same with all learner cars on the road, we've all got sort of brakes and stuff like that. So, and then in 5 years of doing the job, I've never stopped a single session. But I've come close on a few occasions. But if I ask you to slow down more than 3 or 4 times, let's say that's the end of your drive. And what it is if you break the car, a piece of metal can be rebuilt, can't it?
Yeah.
It's all insured, all covered, this sort of stuff right there. But can we be rebuilt? You roll the car over and over and over. Personally, I want to go home to my girlfriend tonight. I don't want to be lending up. So all it is really, just making sure that all of us are okay. So that's the safety briefing out of the way, and then we can go and drive the car. Nice. Now the brakes on these cars are really good. So if they write sport on the back of the car, then you better back it up. And I think they do quite nicely there. So just to practice the braking, can you see the heads-up display?
Yeah.
Can you see? Just go to the quarter line. So what I'd like you to do is slow it down to say 3 or 4 miles an hour, but don't stop the car. So it's just getting used to how firm the brakes are. So if you rest your foot on the brake now, rest your foot on the brake, that's it. Now gently brake, but don't stop the car. To get an idea how you want to slow it down a bit. And then back on the power again, accelerate a bit more power. And now do it again, just braking gently now, braking more. Now slow it down, but don't stop the car. Can you slow down? Can you go a little bit slower?
Try doing that.
Just keep going slow. Now, what we're looking to do is keep it on the track. Can you see with the drift across the side there?
Yeah.
We are going to go in the mud, but not yet. So making sure we're doing it. So if you just keep it on the track, that's it. Now, once the back of the car gets past the fence post here, if you just take your foot off of the accelerator, you know when you ride a bike, you know how you're sitting on the back wheel.
Yeah.
Just think the back. Can you see the back seats? That's where the back wheel is. It's a big car. It's a lot bigger than the other ones. So when we say turn the corner, make sure the back of the car's got past the fence post as well. And what we're looking to do is make a definite 90-degree turn. So the idea really, we're going to go along here. We need to turn to the right so that you're heading towards the trees on that way. So if you look to the right, turn the wheel. Now personally I think you're turning this very slowly. If you look at a 90-degree turn, you want to go that way. So you're going to turn the wheel so we go that way. Keep turning it. That's it. Now think about when you're going to turn back so you don't go in a big circle. That's it. Nice. And then I think you're turning. Can you see? You never said, can you make a definite 90-degree turn?
Oh, you want me to go
And
straight?
then you started turning the other way. So if ever we get muddled up or unsure what's going on, can you see on the flat it kind of works, but when we do the hills, it's just making sure we've got good control there. So if you make another definite 90-degree turn to the left, and then think about when you're going to turn back so you don't go in a big circle. Turn back quickly. Now gently braking, look at the 4 cones in front of you. The idea is to drive in and out the cones, ideally without knocking them down. We might want to push that one clip there because it's raining a bit more there. So the idea really is, if you were driving a Mini, just think the back wheel's about there. If you're driving a bus, it's not further behind. So it's not a Mini, but it's not a bus either. So if you take your foot off the brake, and to tell you the truth, if you knock a cone over, I'm not bothered. It means we can't go through the woods there. So it's for you to show me how to control the car. So we want to drive between the first and second cone. So if you start turning now, turn more, turn more. You now want to go between the second and third cone. So you're going to turn the wheel more, turn it quickly. That's it. That's good. So gently accelerate, but just make sure the back of the car doesn't hit that cone there. It takes a bit of doing, but it's just making sure you can control it. Now slow the car down and turn left. Turn left. That's it. Do you get the idea? It's thinking the car goes slow, turn the wheel fast, and then follow those guys over there. Turn right, turn more. And then straight up again. I reckon it's like playing football, playing hockey, playing some sort of sport there. You want to look at the goal, not at your feet.
Yeah.
So you want to look where you want the car to go. Look how there's some more cones in front of us.
Yeah.
So decide which side you're going to start with, and then if you take your foot off the accelerator now, the way that I do it is stay to the right of the cone like you're doing now. When you get near the first cone, you want to be to the left of the second cone. When you get near the second cone, you want to be to the right of the third cone. So it's looking further ahead. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So if you start to accelerate now, and by looking further ahead, I reckon that makes the steering much easier. So go to the left of the second cone now. Turn the wheel. Now go to the right of the third cone. Turn the wheel quickly. So you can always brake if you're going too fast. You can turn it. So go to the left of the next one. Can you see it going quite fast?
Yeah.
So you want to slow it down a bit more. And now turn the wheel really fast. And then in towards the gate over there. What do you think? That's right. How many did you knock over? That's it. But the idea really, if you try steering with the palm of your hand, it doesn't work. That's it. Now we need to do a big loop around the field. So if you do a big loop round to the left, round to the left. Okay. Now I think we've got 14, 15 cars here today. So if you turn back again. And so what I'd recommend you do, when you turn these corners, make sure you definitely move your head. Because that 12-year-old boy driving next to you is going to be useless. So it's just making sure that, the only person you can trust to be any good as a driver is yourself. So the gate we want is behind us. So let's head towards the gate. This is behind us. So you've got to just turn left or right. It's the one behind us there. So now I'm going to bring you to a stop. I've got a brake on this side.
Was that you?
It is, yeah. Personally, I think you're turning without looking where you're going. Because there could have been a kid driving next to you. In actual fact, there is a car over there. So the only person you can trust to be a good driver is you. If you think the other people are going to be good, we could be quite disappointed. But guess what every other car here is saying about us? The only person that's good is them. So the idea really, just make sure that before you turn, that you're looking where you want the car to go. If we were come around this way here. So what are your thoughts about this car? Are you going to get near him or give him loads of space? Personally, I'd go that way because it looked to me like you were going to drive in front of him. And the only person you can trust is you, that you're about to drive in front of that kid. So what you want to do, everybody here is useless apart from yourself. Does that make sense? We get near to another car, give them some space. Look how many cars are over there. because we're going to go join them in a moment, and you want to make sure that we're okay with things. Now, this car, it's a nice big car, but it actually sits quite low to the ground. So give us a bit more sort of protection off the road. What I see, if you could push that button with my fingers there. That's it, push it out. Because it's now saying off-road height selected. It's raising the car a bit. So if at any time you want to jump out and take photographs, you can. But it's higher up. Don't fall out of the car if you don't mind it. Right, so I need to slow it down a bit more. Not looking to stop, to slow it down a bit. And where's the widest part of the car? Yeah, where's the widest bit? What's that thing sticking out there? So, if you reckon the mirrors can fit through the gate, the whole car can fit through. You know with the cat, if its whiskers can fit through, the whole cat can fit through. So, make sure we don't crash into the gate post. I think you need to turn a bit more. So, turn that bit a bit more. That's it. Now turn back again. That's it. Just think, can you see the heads-up display on there?
Yeah.
So, it's just looking where you want the car to go. In a moment, that's going to change. But for now, what I want to do is brake a bit more, because I think you're going to hit this. I think you need to turn a bit more that way. Remember, it's a big car trying to fit through a narrow gap, and I reckon slowing it down a bit more, braking a bit more, that's it. So look at the pile of mud, look at the stuff on that side there, think, will it fit through? That's it, nice. So, the car's longer than you think, but it's not a bus. You've got a caravan behind you, or a speedboat, or a horse box, and making sure they can fit around. Now, if you look at his car, you'll drive into him. Can you see you're steering towards him? So look at the tree and stay to the right of the tree, because I think you're turning in on him. Can you see what's happening?
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is hold on to those lumps there. And don't turn that way, you want to stay nearer the tree. Can you see you're turning in on him? So, a bit more that way. That's it. Because again, he could be useless, couldn't he really? Yes, he is. So, looking ahead now, can you see the grass growing up in the middle of the track?
Yeah.
So where you're sitting, where your chair is, it wants to be just to the right of it. Where my chair is wants to be to the left of it, and I reckon the way to work it out is look at the end of the track, not the end of the bonnet. Do you get the idea? So playing football, playing hockey, you look at the goal, not your feet. I've never seen you play hockey, but you get the idea. So don't look at them, look at the gate, and keep it in a straight line. Nice. Now the gate you had behind you was quite wide. This is much tighter. So where's the widest part of the car? Nice. So if you think the mirrors can fit through, we'll go through. If you're not sure, just come to a stop. So look at this very expensive mirror here and a gate post. I reckon go a little bit more your way. Try and get nearer the bushes. And then before we crash into him, I'd like you to make a definite left turn, like a 90-degree turn. So aim towards him. Aim towards him. Aim towards him. Okay, so before we crash into him, now turn left. Please look this way. You're actually turning without looking where you're going. Remember how we've got lots of cars around us? So we want to turn that way. So if you look that way, turn the wheel, and turn that way. Turn the wheel more. And I'm going to bring you to a stop here. I'd like to see you turn the wheel more than you're doing. Because can you see that when you're turning, you're doing a nice gentle turn? And I reckon that's a definite 90-degree turn. So if we're driving around the edge of the field and there's nothing around us, doing gentle turns is perfect. But the guy behind you might suddenly to accelerate or what it is, just make sure we're controlling it there. Now, it's working nicely. All it is, it's a big powerful car on a wet slippery day, and the only person to trust is yourself, making sure it's okay. Now, is your foot still on the brake? So keeping your foot on the brake, brake a bit harder, perfect. So you've got control, I take my foot off the brake, that's it. So Can you see the front tyres there? I'd like you to straighten the wheels up, please. Turn a bit more. Turn more. That's it. Turn a bit more. Now you see how it says Range Rover? That's absolutely spot on. Let's suppose you drove in a straight line and the wheel was like this. The man that's put the steering wheel on in the factory is looking for a new job now. Can you see the, so if you turn it till it says Range Rover and it's straight up, absolutely spot on. Good stuff there. Now it is a bit tricky. I think you're doing very nicely. At the moment the car still thinks it's driving on the road. We now need to tell it it's going off-road. So if you could push that button there, it's like a touch screen on there. Can you see it's now saying it changed the way the car pulls away. It's now trying to pull away in as high gear as possible to minimise the wheel spin. But look at your heads-up display now. Can you see it's changed? Yeah. So I don't know if you can see from where you are. It's tricky there. But
no problem.
So could you turn the steering wheel all the way so it won't turn them more? Just turn it round lots. Yeah, turn it lots. Can you see it's telling you which way the wheels are facing? It's really clever, isn't it? If you look behind there, you might be able to see it.
See it, yeah, see it.
Nice. So looking down here, also there's something on here telling you what's going on, but ultimately you want to think so. You're looking ahead, and the technology's come from fighter jets. So when they were attacking people, they don't want to look at the dashboard, they want to see what's going on. Now, for going down the hill, we need to control the car a bit more. The car does some braking for us, you see. So there's a button, where is it? That one there. If you push that one, can you see on the dashboard it's now saying HDC? Yeah. That's basically, that's the hill descent control. It controls the speed going down the hill. There's a bit tricky to see, but there's a green section there, a little arrow on it. If you can push and hold that minus button there, can you see the arrow goes down to the bottom? So that slows the car to about 3 miles an hour. And then if you press and hold the plus bit, can you see it goes up? And that speeds the car up. I reckon today, have it on the lowest setting you can. Brilliant. You start there, keep going down there. Nice. So the field kind of leans from right to left, so we've been sliding towards the fence. So what we can do, see those 3 cones there? It's not a slalom. Just stay to the right of the cones. And then at the top of the hill, don't you can see 2 green cones? Yeah. We want to go between the green cones. So when you feel ready, start to accelerate now. And the idea really is the car wants to slide that way. On a dry day it works, but it's so slippy today. Good stuff. Now the estate manager here, he said he doesn't want anybody without a licence going above 20. How fast are you going? How fast are you going? What's it say on the heads-up display? So you could at least double that. And I think if you don't speed up, we're not going to make it up the climb. So a bit more to the right. Go a bit faster. A bit more to the right. So I need to know where the green cones are. So go a bit faster. Get it nearer to 20. Can you see the green cones? We're going to go between the green cones. I'd be steering that way for you. That's it. And then we want to turn left just before the fence. Yeah. So, turn to the left. Off the power now. Turn back again. Now you very nearly went to the big horseshoe shape, and I don't think anyone's driven here yet, and yet you're trying to drive this way. So you know this idea of turning and then turning back again. Can you take your foot off the accelerator, please? So the idea really, if you'd have made a right turn and followed the fence line, I think it would have worked very nicely, but can you see you started going off that way? Yeah. So we're going to drive forwards, and I'd like you to turn right just after the yellow pole. Again, what we're looking to do, we're looking to make a definite turn, so we need to make sure the back of the car's got past the yellow pole. We're going to go past the yellow pole and turn to the right. And then I'd like you to turn to the right. I'd like you to come to a stop just before the orange poles. Turn back again. Turn back more. With the heads-up display, because it makes it a bit easier knowing the wheels are straight. So we're going to come to a stop just before the orange poles, please. That's it. Nice. Good stuff there. So the idea really, if ever there's some confusion what's going on, what we can do, we can have a chat about it before we do it there. But ultimately it's thinking to yourself, quite a lot of the turns we're going to do today are going to be like that, as opposed to sort of gentle turns. Some of them are gentle ones, but a lot of them are nice gentle ones. So you're on the low setting on the descent control. If you look across the field, can you see the telegraph pole? Can you see straight? Not that one. Straight across the field. Can you see the telegraph pole?
Yeah.
I want you to aim towards the telegraph pole. So whatever happens with the car, just think, oh no, steer that way, because that's your reference point now. Is it? Is that right? Nice. So when you feel ready, take your feet off the pedals. That's it. So don't touch any pedal. Take your feet completely off the pedals. Now steer towards the telegraph pole. So where you're sitting, just aim straight towards it. No, I think you're steering somewhere else. So can you see the telegraph pole right in front of you?
Yeah.
Can you see the one it's straight across? It's like a white piece of paper on it, something like that. Really?
Yeah.
Can you see what I mean?
The pole there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think she's trying to follow the tracks.
no. So,
That's it. That's
so,
it. See?
so the idea really, who's the only person you can trust to be a good driver?
Me.
So everybody that went that way, potentially they've got it wrong, haven't they? So what you want to do, remember you're in control, and the weight of the engine wants to go down the hill, and what you want to do is make sure that you're pointing down the hill. So if you want to, from your line now, look at that blue pipe, that blue thing next to the telegraph pole. Aim straight towards it. Now these cars going this way, they're the Evokes, and they're smaller than this. They're not as powerful. They're not as good off-road as this. This is the Range Rover Sport. So basically, look at the blue pipe and steer straight towards it. So, now, can you take your feet away from the pedals, please? Because you're going down quite a steep hill. So what we want you to do is steer this towards the blue pipe. That's it. Oh, it's a big lump in front of us. Keep going in a straight line. Because this is what Range Rovers do, you see. This is off-road. Can you feel it skidding a little bit?
Yeah.
Are you looking towards the blue pipe? And then just gently accelerate now. We were on that bit this morning, but it's just so slippery.
Yeah.
That's it. So are you still aiming towards the blue pipe?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff there. I think a bit more to the right there. Can you feel it skidding as it's coming down the hill there? Do you want to try it again?
Yeah.
Good stuff there. So what we're going to do, when you feel ready, instead of doing a 90-degree turn, just do a nice big gentle turn round to the right. That's it. Let's start to accelerate now. Good stuff. Keep going round. So you know how we kind of went up there. We're looking for the green cones again. So see all the time lights going that way. That's good. So if you start to accelerate now, what's the speed limit on the estate today? What are you doing? So we could double that, couldn't we? Right. So when you go, that's it. Round a bit more to the right. A bit more to the right. Go a bit faster. That's it. A bit faster. You can start to see the green cones now. So we only go through the green cones, and if anything, what you could do is aim towards the telegraph pole again. Because remember, when we go through the green cones, we want to follow the fence, you see. So keeping it moving. That's good stuff there. That's it. Now start turning back. I'd control the car if I were you. Slow it down. I think you're going way too fast. Personally, I think that was out of control. You were going very fast there, weren't you? That's it. So, on a dry day, I wouldn't have even stopped you. But if you can't stop and you go over the edge there, we're out of control. So, all I want to do, just relax a bit more, take a deep breath, and don't crash the car. So, we're going to go forwards and then turn right just after the yellow pole. So, if we go forwards now, that's it. So when the back of the car's got past the yellow pole, turn to the right and head towards the orange ones. That's it. Alright. Now the line you took before was really good. We could do that again if you want to, or we can do the easier route that the other cars do. What do you want to do? Do you want to head towards the telegraph pole, or do you want to do the simple route? Okay. Okay, so take your feet off the pedals. Now please don't touch any more pedals. What we want to do now is
Take
look.
your feet off the pedal.
Yeah, take your feet off the pedals. Because if you think, if you're on the top of a hill, if you accelerate, you're going to go down the hill way too fast.
Yeah.
But I reckon gravity's going to work, isn't it really? So if I brake on my side, can you bring the car to the left a bit more, please? Bring it round more to the left. Look at the puddle at the bottom of the hill. It's like a drinking trough. If you could straighten the wheels up, please. Straighten the wheels up. So your reference point now, instead of being the blue polypipe, it's now the puddle there, or the gate that's open. And we're going to go down that way. Okay, nice. So that's it. And just steer towards that puddle. If you were to yank the wheel really quickly now, there's a chance the car could tip over, because it's basically you're asking the car to, well, you know the laws of physics. The weight wants to go that way. If you try and get it to go another way, it's not going to have it. So, and now head towards the blue pipe and gently accelerate. Wasn't quite so steep, was it really? Can you see how the car didn't really struggle?
Yeah.
But I reckon, what does it say there? That means it wants to play in the steeper bits, doesn't it? It's quite good. I mean, it's your drive, and you can make it as simple as you want to, or as tricky as you want to. But I think it's just playing around with the car and seeing what you think. The gate you want is in the corner down there, and imagine that's the gate where my hand is. Can you look at my hand, please? I want you to, the radio's the car. I want you to approach it like this. If you come in like this, it's really hard. So the idea, the gate you want is over there. So personally, I'd head towards the blue polypipe, slowing it down a bit more, braking a bit more, braking a bit more. So looking at the gate, you want to go that way. But so if that's the gate, if you approach it like this, it's really hard. If you approach it like this, it's much easier. So if you go forwards a bit now, and then look at the gate, and steer towards the gate. Steer towards the gate. So remember my very expensive mirror and the gate post. So brake a bit more. Brake a bit more. I think you're going quite fast through a very narrow gate with a nice £90,000 car. So just think it has worked, but do it quite slowly. So off the brake now. That's it, nice. And then we're going to go that way. No. The problem is we've got the brake here, and if you've planned it in advance, the car shouldn't get damaged. It's kind of if you say to people turn now, then that's when the car's going to get damaged. So if you don't drive a bit more, can you see the white posts there?
Yeah.
We want to approach it from coming up next to the tree. So that's the white post there. We want to come up this way here, and we're going to turn this side of the tree, but not yet. Personally, I'd go. The idea, so the white posts are there. So we want to go forwards a bit more. Remember that horse box you got behind you, or the speedboat behind you. Make sure that can get around as well. So if you look at the white posts and turn now. Look at that, nicely lined up. That's it. And now straighten the wheels up. Turn more. That's it. So keep the wheels as straight as you can. And then, is there anything in front of you that's exactly lined up with where you're sitting? Is there a branch or a tree or a leaf or something? No, the tree's too far that way. It needs to be in front of you, because if you do the tree, you're going to go sideways down here. So it needs to be where you're sitting, something over there. It could be a leaf, could be a stinging nettle, could be anything at all. Okay, brilliant. So that's your reference point, and just steer straight towards it. That's it. So as the nose of the car starts to go down the hill, just take your feet off the pedals.
As the what?
As the front of the car starts to go down, just take your feet away from the pedals. So keep it in a straight line. Off the power now. Don't touch any more pedals. Ooh, no, you might give it a little bit of power. So just stop it. So just try a bit now. That's it. A little bit back, a little in. And now take your feet off. Steer to the bottom. No, please don't steer. Don't steer. Because you could have tipped the car over then. What I was asking you to do is go in a straight line, and you know I said, can you find a reference point at the bottom of the hill?
Yeah.
But what's happening is, what you want to do is to stay as relaxed as you can. And remember, there's no wheels on the roof, so don't tip it onto its roof and go, oops. So what I'd like to do now, we're going to turn to the right, and then can you see the bush there with the yellow flowers on it?
Yeah.
We want to be to the left of that bush. So we want to,
Turn left?
yeah. So we want to turn this to the right. That's it. So gently accelerating now. So you think to yourself, I could do this. Can you see the track going through there?
Yeah.
We can do that part there. That's it. So turn the wheel back again. Turn it back. That's it. And gently accelerate now. So if you can keep the grass there under the bottom of the car, then that works nicely. A little bit of power now. I'll be turning if I were you. Turn the wheel more. Okay. Now I'm going to bring you to a stop for a second. Can you show me how to turn the wheel? Could you turn the wheel all the way towards me? Turn it round and round and round, and then all the way back the other way. And then can you see with the heads-up display, telling you which way the wheels are facing?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to turn the wheel, but just don't do it on the steep hill. We're going to go along here and turn left. If you try turning too early, it's not going to make it, because I don't think anyone's been up there. But do you get the idea? We're going to go round that way. A lot of the tyre marks are going that way, but we want to try and go this way. So I reckon you're going to go forwards at least 2 car lengths before it's going to have a chance of turning.
Just straight forward.
That's it, yeah. So you can go forwards now. The car's going to slide a bit, but we want to turn left. So look to the left, turn the wheel, that's it. Now get us up the climb. So start to accelerate. That's it. And go up the climb. That's it. A little bit of gas now. To get an idea, so it's thinking, yeah, I want the car to go that way or go this way, and I can control this. Nice. So the gate we want is in the corner over there. So you know the one we came through? Personally, I'd be going more that way, because if that's the gate you want to be as straight as possible rather than coming at an angle. So the gate you want is in the corner, because these ones are closed. So personally, I'd come this way a bit more. Turn a bit more. Now you are looking at the other cars, aren't you? That's it. And then look at the gate. Steer towards the gate. Yeah. It's one of those things, if we were the only car here, it doesn't really matter if we don't look left and right, but what it is the other cars could be a bit closer, so that's it. What do you reckon? Is it going to fit through? What do you think? Personally, I think you're going quite fast. You're quite close to it on this side here, and you know, as you're approaching it, instead of being like that, can you see we're coming at an angle? So it does work. If you turn more to the right, and then gently accelerate now. That's it. Now turn away from the post. So the wheels are now in a straight line, but if you were to turn now, we're going to hit that post, aren't we?
Yeah.
And
Get the back foot.
that's it. You know, you got that horse box behind you. Do you ever go horse riding?
No.
But imagine you've got a really expensive speedboat behind you. That wants to get through as well. So if you gently accelerate now, look at the post, and now turn. Because those broken bricks are going to damage that tyre. So I don't think anyone's driven on that yet. So the gate you want is over that way. So personally, I'd line up as soon as possible on the bits that we know people have already driven on. So that's it. Nice. So what I'd be inclined to do is look at the digger. Can you see at the bottom of the hill you've got that orange digger thing there? Aim towards that. It's working nicely. What it is, it's a really big car on a wet, slippery day. So I reckon just braking a tiny bit more. You're not going to scratch the car on these bushes, are you? Just turn a bit more your way. That's it. And And then we want to take the track on the right down there. So just ease the brake pressure off. And then just do the track on the right. That's it. And then off the brake now. What I tend to do here is look at the yellow poles at the bottom of the hill. Kind of keep it near the yellow poles, it's easy. That's it. Good stuff. So just think, aim towards those pheasants in front of you. Just think that's where we're going to go. If they get in the way, if you put one hand on there and push it, nice. They're not bothered, are they? So just gently accelerate now. There's a puddle there. Don't we smash through the puddles? Bit more power. I reckon at 20 miles an hour that would have been a massive splash then, wouldn't it really? How fast are you going? so it's alright, obviously just making sure that you're in control of the car. No, that's fine. Yeah, if you want to. I don't think that bothered, are they? Now it is a bit tight fitting through here. A bit more to the right. A bit more to the right. So if you come to a gentle stop along here, it will fit through nicely, but to make it a little bit easier, if you push that button there, and then where it says 360, that's it. Can you see it? Oh, it's all covered in mud there, but basically there's little cameras under the bottom of the mirrors. Can you see there's one there? You're going to get covered in mud if you try doing it there, so what you could do, if you just drive forwards now, if it's not covered in mud, it does work quite nicely, those cameras there, but just gently accelerate now. And the idea is just try and keep it on the tarmac stuff. So I think you're going to hit the bank here. Go a bit more to the right. A bit more to the right. Otherwise we're going to hit the side here. See? Okay.
Just make sure Neil gets the message over.
More to the right.
Yeah, I'm heading back towards the house there.
A little bit of gas now. Yeah, I heard something about the hill there. So, is that on the new descent we put in? So you see the trailer? Let's head straight towards the trailer.
Straight.
Yeah, straight across the field. See the grass going, tracks going across there? Nice. We're going to be turning left just before the trailer. Can you see where he's coming from?
Yeah.
So think about how you want to line up with that gate. Because I think personally we need to go further into the field. Go further into the field.
Team coming from the high bales back to the maneuvering area.
That's it. So, can you see the gate?
Yeah.
We're going to steer towards the gate. Brake it a bit more. And what's coming towards you now?
Calm.
Nice. So if we just wait here.
Steve to Neil.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, what I said about Doug's ditch, I've called it off because the cars are just sliding, there's just no grip in there at all now.
Yeah, I knew that's going to happen. So if it's raining, we don't go anywhere near it. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks.
No, I'd also like a prize because I've managed to get my sunroof covered in mud. Over.
There's a puddle on the corner there when you come back the other way. 'Cause we don't do it that way because you can't see around the bend, but coming the other way you can sometimes get quite muddy with it. But how about if you pull that arm towards you 2 or 3 times? Can you see that's how you flash the lights?
Yeah.
If you look at the front of his car and do it now, can you see on these number plates flashing
Yeah.
it there? So. But what you could do, give him a blast of the horn, get him out of the way. I wouldn't put up with that.
Are you teaching her some good habits?
Yeah,
Yeah.
teaching a road rage, that's fine there. So nice. So when you feel ready, we can drive.
I can do that quite adequately.
Off-road coming around the corner by the hay bales back to the manoeuvring area. Anyone coming in this way at all?
Yes, Anthony. Give us 2 minutes. We'll be out of your way. Thanks.
Receive holding waiting for you.
gently accelerate now. If you can try and keep the grass under the bottom of the car, if you go one way or the other, we have to stop because there's a bit of not much of a drop here, but it's enough to mess the car about. And it's difficult to see, but there's actually some water to the right at the moment. You basically don't want to go to that. Turn a bit more to the right, please. That's it. So does it kind of make sense where you're sitting to stay to the right of the grass there,
Yeah.
giving it a little bit of power, consuming by the water.
Steve, team heading from the manoeuvring
Yeah,
area
get the
towards
power
the
now.
yellow poles. Is there anyone coming through? Over.
So in the field, if the steering wasn't too accurate, it's not a major problem. We're now going to go through the woods. It is a lot slower, a lot more sort of precise. If you don't want to do it, we can go back to the field. But I reckon it's quite good fun going through the woods here. So it's your choice. What we'll do is a bit more to the right. There's a big shed here with the hay bales in. Basically, from the hay bales onwards, that's going through the woods. So if you want to turn back and go back again, we can. But I reckon we should carry on. What would you like to do? Perfect, good stuff there. Because some people kind of think they like speeding up in the field.
Manoeuvring area to where the yellow stakes are. Enemy coming the other way.
So we're going to go straight on here. Can you go beep beep on the horn? Say thank you. Right, so we're going to go down this way here, and it's all about thinking how wide the car is, how long it is. And
Off first turn around the corner back towards the manoeuvre playground.
so we're going to go round to the right, and then round to the left. No, slow it down a bit more. We're going to go round to the right, and then round to the left. I think you're going quite fast with a car coming towards you.
Yeah.
So the idea, remember about controlling the car? So we're going to off the brake now, and we're going to turn to left. Oh, don't assume anything there, Dave. But yes, thanks. Right, now the idea along here is keeping it on the track. So I think you're drifting over towards me.
Yeah.
Can you see it's like going that way?
Yeah.
That's it. Now in the field, speeding up to 20 miles an hour is quite good fun. Through here, if we get to about 5 miles an hour, we're going quite fast. And it's just thinking, can we fit through the gaps there? So, straight more to the right. That's it. Now I'm going to bring you to a stop. Personally, I think you're turning left, and yet the track goes in a straight line. There's actually a drainage ditch that runs through here. I don't think you quite see it that way, but it's on this side as well. So you see the centre bit there, or you see where the tyre marks are. What you want to do, Kate, try and keep it on the track, and I reckon the way to do it is to hold up here. That's it. So as you go around this bend here, there's a stump here, there's a tree there, so you need to be turning more. That's it. So I reckon looking over your shoulder to see are you passing the trees is a good move as well. That's it. So along here, not a problem, but on the bends, I've noticed we've been around 2 trees without really looking at the trees. So you want to think, riding a bike, the way you're steering is perfect.
Down the hill towards the yellow poles.
Driving a Mini, the way you're steering is perfect. When you get a job as a bus driver in the future, let me know what bus you're on, I'll get the next one. So you can gently accelerate now.
We might tell he was shot up last night.
Who was it?
We might tell he was shot up last night in
Oh.
Sheffield.
Oh dear.
With their rifle.
Oh dear. Was anyone hurt? Was it?
No, there was nobody hurt.
Oh right. Can you feel how slippy it is?
Yeah.
So just slowing it down a bit more. Now with the smaller cars, with the Evoque, we'd have to have been braking. But because this one, because it's sitting higher up, well with the Evoques they catch like this, but we're higher up, see? So it's a nice car to drive. All I'd say really, just gently accelerate. And personally, I'd hold on to those lumps. Just gently accelerate. So the reason we hold it there is you want to try and keep your elbows away from your body. So it's not that they're sticking out, but if you hold the wheel right at the bottom with both hands, can you see what I mean? It's difficult to control. So on the road, you might be able to get away with that, but off-road, can you see, you want to make sure you got that kind of control there. If you keep it on the track, my mirror doesn't hit the tree. But you can see if you go one way or the other, can you see it might do.
Thank you.
It's a lot tighter, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big car on a tight track, and to tell the truth, Katie, the course wasn't designed for this car. It was actually put in for the Evokes, and they're much smaller. And even the Defender that we got, the big grey car, it's smaller than this. So later on, when you hear people talking saying that was quite difficult, you want to say you weren't in the Range Rover Sport. So look at that tree there. Have a look over your shoulder. Make sure the back's got past it. And then off you go. There's a deer. Nice and see. Yeah. Now there's another drainage ditch through the woods. So you see where the white post is? That's marking where the drainage ditch is. All it is really, keep it in a straight line. If you keep it on the track, it works. You can see the leaves in the middle there. So you've got the car very nicely set up. So if you gently accelerate now, to the Baxter's corner, so a little bit more to the right. That's it. And look, you see the bit in the middle there that we don't drive on. If it suddenly looks like you're sitting on there, can you see you're going more one way than the other? You're just thinking, can you see it's going uphill slightly now? So you want to think, so right, I need to keep it moving. It's a nice little track, isn't it? You can see it's getting a bit tighter now with the trees on the other side. So slowing it down a bit more. You don't need to stop, but can you see how it's such a wide car that I want to make sure. Now I'm going to bring you to a stop. There's a chance you're going to scratch the car quite badly on these bits here because they're actually sticking out quite a long way. You haven't touched them, but I reckon you've got more room on your side. So if you turn to the right a bit more, that's it. Because you know how to steer the car, don't you? You know how to brake. Basically, don't scratch my car and go, oops. Because personally, I think you're going a bit fast. If you just slow it down a tiny bit more. That's it. Nice. So things like this won't damage the car, will they really? It's the branches sticking out. Even this one here is not going to damage the car at all. That's it. Does it feel slippy or does it feel okay? Good stuff there. So, can you see how close the mirror's getting to the trees? So, I would hold the wheel up here personally, and then the idea is to keep your elbows away from your body and control the car. Can you see we're turning in on the tree? So, if you try and keep it more to the right, and that's it. Nice. You wouldn't believe how expensive the mirrors are when you smack into a tree there. So, that's it. So a bit more to the right. So that's it. What do you reckon? Is it going to work? Yeah. A bit more to the right. On this bit here, the car only just fits on, doesn't it? You can feel how it's just only just fitting past the trees and stuff like that, really. So it's good what you're doing. It's good stuff there. So this stuff here won't damage the car, will it? If that touches the car, that'll be fine. Now there's a bit of a tricky bit coming up. If you just slow it down a bit more, brake a bit more, do for the brake, slow down, brake a bit more. That's it. So I'm going to try and keep it moving. Just take your foot on the brake. You want the car going slowly. There's a stump on my side which can damage the tyres.
Yeah.
So if you keep it on the track, it works. If you go this way, we get a puncture. So the idea, you want to keep it near the tree on your side, but don't hit the tree. So personally, I'd hold the wheel higher up there, just so you've got the wheel control there. So it's working nicely now, but keep it near the tree. Just off the brake now. That's it. Just give it a little bit of power now. Just turn towards the tree a bit more. Turn towards the tree a bit. As long as the mirror doesn't hit the tree, that's good stuff there. We asked the farmer to leave the tree there, and he thought he was helping, and he cut the tree down because he thought we'd get too close to it. Can you see this branch leading over here? And so he's actually made it worse, chopping the tree down by giving us a stump to deal with. That's it. That's it. Turn away from that. Turn more. Turn more. That's it. Now, there's a white post in front of us. There's another one to the right of it. I'd like you to line up exactly between the white posts, please. So, can you see how the cars are going left to do it? So you're going to think, right, I need to turn left now. So, see the white posts? We want to line up exactly with the white posts there. That's it. So if you take your feet off the pedals, if I do the brake on my side, because we need to go forwards a bit more, you see? That's it. So that's it. Just gently accelerate now. Gently accelerate now. Right, so if you take your feet off the pedals, a little bit more to the right. A bit more to the right. That's it. So I need you to hold up here. Can you see as you come out of the water, there's like a ramp with sides to it. The sides coming down as well, and this car only just fits. It's quite a tight way in there. So the idea really, keep it in a straight line. It's working very nicely, but keep it in a straight line. That's it. That's quite deep there. Nice. Just come over my way a tiny bit. And now straighten the wheels up. Keep the wheels as straight as you can. Gently accelerate now. And keep in a straight line. That's going to work nicely. Good stuff. Again, can you see how the course isn't designed for this one? So we're going to turn to the right. Nicely done. Now slow the car down a bit more. That's good. I was hoping there might be another car following us, so you'll see him going through. But right, so basically through here, just keep it on the map a bit. Just keep it on the track. So what do you think?
I like
It's alright, yeah. Do you prefer the open areas where you can go faster, or through here, or are they both alright?
this one.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is
I
the
don't think I like going fast.
right, right. Because in some ways, this is what it's all about. It's driving the Range Rover in the mud. Isn't it? You get some of the guys just want to go fast, isn't it? So be careful with this bit here. But to mess you about, can you see there's a stump on your side as well? But also there's a tree on my side. It's just taking it really slowly. That's it. Nice. So just gently accelerate now. That's it. Nice. That's good. Now this isn't the tightest bit yet. It's coming up. Not quite yet, but it's coming up soon. So you've got a tight turn. Personally, what I tend to do is drive forwards a bit before you turn.
Okay, do that, Danny. Do you want you to leave the manoeuvre area up to the yellow?
Then turn back again. Now, if you just come to stop here for a moment, it's going to get really bumpy. There's some pipes, there's some concrete pipes we're driving across them, and you you know when we went down the hill earlier on, and as the car went down, you put loads of steering on. I know you didn't mean to do it, but it's almost like a reaction. On this one here, keep it in a straight line. So it's difficult to see because it all looks quite the same, but is there anything in front of you that's exactly lined up where you're sitting? Like a branch or a leaf or something there? You need to be quite specific, so if you just pick anything at random, so you see the tyre marks there?
Random.
Yeah, so where you're sitting, see the log going that way? Pick something perfect, so that's your reference point, and you want to steer towards it. Remember, it's a big car. The back of the car has to get past the second white post before you turn. With a Mini, you could turn much earlier, couldn't you? But the idea, you've got to go in a straight line, because if you turn too early, we're going to ride up on those logs there. Apart from that, it's very easy. So the idea really, nice firm grip of steering wheel, look at your reference point, hold the wheel up here, and drive us across the pipes there. So the idea is to keep it in a straight line, a bit more your way, a bit more your way, a bit more. Now keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's it, keep moving. Keep it in a straight line. And now turn. What do you think? There's a bumpy bit there. It's really tight through here. So you've got to make sure we're looking at the trees and do it really slowly. That's it. It is tight, isn't it? You've got a lot of steering on. I'd turn back a bit for you. Careful. It's because it's with better off-road tyres. Can you see it grips more?
Yeah.
But these are standard road tyres, so still good. But I think big knobbly tyres are better for doing this sort of stuff there. But then when you drive down to London, you don't want big knobbly tyres on you on the Range Rover, so turn more left. And then straight up again. Now this is really tight through here. This is probably the tightest turn you go on. And that's it. Nice. So make sure we don't scratch the car on this bush here, so you're going to go forwards a bit before you turn. And before you ask, no we're not.
What's that for?
They did an event down in London with Land Rover a few years back. Well, it's probably about 10 years ago now, and it was a big ramp they had down at the Excel Motor Show from there. And there were some shipping containers under the bottom of it, which gave it more strength. And because they've gone, good stuff, the farmer can't guarantee the strength. Personally, if I was the farmer, I'd knock it down, but he's left it there. So all of that unbolted, went onto some 2 or 3 lorries, and they took it down to London. It's quite steep. So
I take it strong enough to hold these.
I wouldn't take it over personally.
No, I'm not doing it.
So if you pull that arm towards it 2 or 3 times, that's the suppression right there. So should we drive on? I don't know what the bases are. So as you go across there, is it on a concrete pad or something like that? So shouldn't talk about other manufacturers, but those little Suzukis, because they're not very heavy, I'll take one of those over it, but I wouldn't do. Not if I want to keep the job at Land Rover, that is. So you've kind of been around the whole course now. We've got, what, 20 minutes left, something like that really, so